Whoa! Hello, everyone! Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, if you're joining from somewhere else in the world. Hello, everyone in the chat. Lena, Nyasha, Julia, great to see you, everyone. I am so thrilled to be back here joining you live. I am Sam Anderson. I'm a designer on the Adobe XD design team. So that means we are designers that design a design tool within the design tool itself, which is kind of meta, making prototypes of prototypes. I could talk about that all day. But we're streaming here from San Francisco. I would love to hear where everyone else is from. Include your favorite emoji. Because look next to the chat bar on Behance, and there's actually an emoji thing, so which I just found out about. So include your favorite emoji. Mine is the little sparkles. That's my favorite emoji. Anyway, we're here and we're doing the daily creative challenge, and we are almost at the last day, but not quite there yet. Tomorrow's the last day, being Friday. But here is the homepage for our challenge. So it's behance.net/challenge/XD. And so every day, well, first of all, if you haven't been here before, also, hey, Emmanuel from Kenya, Julia from Stockholm, great to see everyone joining. And look at all those amazing emojis. Oh, the sunglasses, great one, Gustavo. Harvey has the same favorite. That's a popular one. You're gonna want to click this blue button when you're on this page, because then you'll get notifications about each challenge each day. Even though we're at the tail end, it's still worth you joining. We are here. These are all the previous challenges. The Get Started button on each one takes you to the starter file for that challenge. So this is where you can download the starter file for our smart home management system, which we are going to be designing live today. And so we can, just get right in it with our starter file really quickly and easily. If you're not familiar with Adobe XD, which is the tool that we're using to design these experiences for this challenge, you can learn more at this part of the webpage. But it's an experience design tool. And then we also have a community, a Discord channel, which is like just this huge Slack room. Well, it's like Slack if you've used Slack. It's this huge chat room. And we can talk with other designers, people that work at Adobe, get mentorship on just anything, show our design, and get feedback on our designs, which ends up being really helpful to us. And I will show you that. So you can use that button. And let's hop in what Discord looks like. This is Discord. It's got a nice dark interface. Everyone's about the dark interface trend right now, aren't they? And there's a bunch of different channels. And we have one like Creative Challenge. They post the challenge every day in here as well. So there's lots of places you can access where the challenge is. But the one called Current-Challenge ends up being the one that we want to use a lot. Marcel has like the really happy smiley face. That's a great one. Nicole is the little goldfish, the little fish. I love that. That's really cute. That's a cute one. I love seeing those emojis, just like top notch. Like I was saying, this is where everyone's sharing feedback. Look at this. People are sharing their designs from previous days, and we're able to give feedback. And they're posting videos and photos. They're sharing prototype links that you can get from XD, and I'll show you that at the end and how you can share that right in here. And then, once you're done with your design, you can share it on Behance and have like a really stellar looking portfolio through Behance that will just look top notch. Hopefully, all of you have been working on a nice looking portfolio, so you can get whatever next awesome design gig is coming up. We have a prompt today, as well as a principle, just like every other day. And the idea here today is that we have smart homes and systems that track one another inside your home are becoming increasingly pervasive. And so we need a way, an app, let's say, to track all of the different systems that might be happening in your home to see what the status is. And perhaps one area of your home has gone drastically wrong and there's some sort of alarm. It could be a security alarm, maybe it's like a moisture sensor, maybe it's like a breeze sensor or like a broken glass. Like it could be something security related, it could be something for home health. But the idea here is that the principle around the UX design for this is that Elijah is saying I've not been able to make the past 3 days, and that's okay because each of these challenges are independent of each other. And so each of them have their own design prompt and principles. So, they're not necessarily tied into one another. So you can hop in at any point, but feel free to try the other designs and challenges as well. So the principle with this is that how can we show all this information, different statuses of all these various devices that might be connected to your home in one screen? Like, can we fit that in one screen so that if I'm a homeowner or an apartment owner or anything, right, I can quickly glance at this and get an easy idea of what state my home is in. And that quick glance becomes that ultimate design perspective that you want to build up to. It's like just like 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds. It should be like instant that you can just look at a design and understand like, oh, everything's okay or something's going wrong, right? We have a progress tracker over here, and you can give yourself points if you'd like. Some resources for this thing called system status as a heuristic for design. You can learn more about that. I went to this talk at a conference. It was called Interaction 19. It was a conference in Seattle. It's all about user experience design and interaction design, experience design, whatever you want to call it. If you're interested in this field, try going to one of these conferences or volunteering. Anyway, this is a talk from one of them, a designer who designed a system for emergency dispatch for like police or like fire vehicles. And and here's like an example of what that might look like. It is so important to know different system statuses in an interface like this. So it's like an extreme example of what system status design looks like, because those are life and death situations. And then here's like a more modest or a more like homeowner kind of perspective. This is the Apple Home app, where you can manage devices that are connected through there. And I think our design is going to be more leaning on this side, but their app is mostly just like light bulbs and such, and there's not a lot that can integrate. So we're going to do a little bit more than what Apple is doing, at least currently. So I've started. We're going to do here's my website, and then my Twitter, if you want to follow me, is sam.design. Everything's just sam.design. It's just if the dot is a real dot or a DOT everywhere on social media if you want to follow me. I'm always tweeting about design tools. But we're going to design a hypothetical app for my apartment, let's say. So it's going to be like Sam's apartment. You could do a house. You could do, it could be specialized towards your dog, who knows? And I've got some icons here that might be helpful. And we'll design just kind of our regular state. And we'll also design maybe like that alarm state where something maybe is going wrong. And so we have just like the name of our apartment, and then maybe we'll say like, how many icons do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll say maybe like 7 devices connected. And this will be smaller, just like a subheading. Again, system status. We're telling the user, or I don't actually like using the word user. We're telling the homeowner or the apartment owner what's going on about the system status, and that's a pretty light one. Just how many devices are connected. You can even use an icon for 7. You could put like a device icon and then the number 7. That could be even faster, perhaps. And then we're going to show the different our different devices like this. And so we could do like little card things, and perhaps this can be part of a repeat grid. That could be kind of fun, right? And each of these will have text as well. And each of these will be a different part of the household. Awesome. If anyone has any questions, just like feel free to throw those in the chat. Either I will try to answer it, or someone else in the chat will try to answer. And so perhaps we have like a motion sensor, right? Is there a medium? No, I'm using Filson Soft as my typeface today. It's got rounded corners. That's what soft means on typefaces. do I want bold? Do I want bold? That is the question. I think I do. Cool. And perhaps it's not completely white. It's just a little opaque. That's 90% opacity. And so our motion sensor we're going to throw in here. And then we maybe want to like have some sort of information about what it is, or like the last time it was active, or something like that. We can also include. So motion sensor, awesome. Tim says Filson is a classic. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes I like using typefaces that no one's ever heard of, but common typefaces work as well. Some designers are crazy about Helvetica. Okay, last activated, let's say at maybe like 3 p.m., right? And so we're getting some information like about like the last time this picked up motion was perhaps at 3 p.m. Let's make this a little smaller. It's not quite as important. And that's going to be at the bottom. And so maybe this sensor also has like its own kind of like active status, and that is like no alarms. And so we're going to actually put this in its own like little tag. Maybe not fully rounded, so it doesn't completely look like a button. We're going to turn this into a repeat grid, so we get a bunch of these actually, and just change the name of the sensors for each one. And green is a good color for when things are going well. So we're going to utilize that paradigm and perhaps make the text white. And let's do a darker green, because green can be kind of hard to read white text on, so just a little bit darker. And then also for these like little tag designs, like sometimes just a slightly darker border around them helps just kind of bump it up a little bit. And so now we get an idea of like, okay, that's all. Motion sensor is good. And so let's actually create a component of this and make it into a repeat grid. So we're kind of combining some actions here. And I've got 7 devices, so perhaps it's like that, but then we can ungroup the grid, ungroup grid, and we can delete these last ones because we don't need those. Cool, and maybe we kind of center everything up a little bit more. It's good thinking about like what it would look like with more sensors or less sensors. Maybe even, I was thinking, like Sam's apartment, like no one is home. And maybe it knows like how many people are home as well. Because the future, what I like to say about the future of, I mean, other people say this really, I'm just repeating other people. But the future of like technology is not about new, smarter devices. It's about those devices talking to one another. And it's that capability of talking to one another that these devices should actually become smarter with. And it's not necessarily the devices themselves becoming smarter. And so we'll do a light as well. Right, we can put that into our component here. And so that could be like, you can put more lights in there. We'll do living room light. Let's make this a little bigger to fit that completely. And that maybe that's just like off for the status, right? Because maybe there's even a way to turn it on, because that status is going to be slightly different than something that might be triggered by an alarm, right? A light isn't necessarily a sensor. So we'll do that, make this a little darker. That's cool. So we see the status there. That's cool. Awesome. And then we can do that for the rest of ours as well. So let me just, oh, I have this home icon actually. I might use somewhere, not sure yet. Okay. Maybe I have some sort of dog sensor somewhere, right? Who knows? Maybe like there is some sort of like pet detector or like maybe if there's like like the dog's bed has some sort of presence sensor, and so Bailey, that's my dog's name at home, and so maybe then the status here is like sleeping, because I can guarantee you my dog at home in Chicago, like my family's dog, is probably sleeping right now. We'll see. And that's like I think that's a green status, or maybe it's just like maybe it's like blue, because blue is kind of just like blue's a good color for something that's not neither good nor bad. And maybe last activated, maybe like last turned on this morning. You know, you can simplify things in simple language, right? And then 8 at noon. And maybe that's the last message. I could also imagine that you could open these and see more granular detail on what each of these sensors is telling you. But the idea here is that you could at a glance just see these different colors or see these statuses and understand what's going on in your home. Since we only have a few minutes here, I think you get the picture of like how you would fill in the rest of these sensors. You could do a door lock, a window. I was just pulling in sensors from just random ideas. But like, what if like this motion sensor maybe like starts like getting finicky, you know, like something happens with the motion sensor. And so maybe it goes from like no one is home, but then something like motion detected. Oh no, that's not good, right? And the alarm that you do in your design, that can be different. You know, you don't have to do this. You could do like maybe like the dog escaped. That could be an alarm or something that your pet tracker is detecting. And red is a great color for some sort of like attention. Our eyes go to red first, and perhaps even the border is red, or like darker red perhaps. But that doesn't actually look good on the gray background. So maybe not. Maybe it's, maybe actually the card itself can get more opaque, so it goes to like 100% white. Maybe even it gets bigger, like it could get like a little bigger, and we're using responsive resize. You can see how things are kind of just staying in sync there, right? Maybe it gets bigger, or like actually, what if we move the other ones like kind of away, and it like takes up more space, right? Is like a potential. So you can think about this being a dynamic moving status page, right? And you can maybe even put like a little icon for like something's going on here, you know? Oh, I accidentally rotated this. How did that happen? Let's put that back. There we go, and make it a little bigger. Okay. You could do like a red exclamation point for the status. Let's make that white. And where'd it go? Where'd my exclamation point go? Oh, it's like somewhere lost on the white. Okay. Here, let's find it. We're gonna find it. I'm moving the arrow keys. It's somewhere. Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay. Let's make this bigger. Oh, move motion detected over. Exclamation point. Any use case where you really need to call people's attention, exclamation point and red will definitely do that for people. But don't overdo it, because if you have like 11 red things on this page, then people won't really know where to look, right? And it'll become kind of like a lot. Perhaps that card even changes. It could pulse. You could use auto animate to have like a pulsing status. But the key here is like, when you submit your challenge, make sure it's readable, make sure you can understand that system status from a high level. And then maybe it's like, it's not no one is home, but like possible intruder detected. Oh no. And like, because this is actually outside of those other modular little cards, you know, it's at a higher level. It's a different hierarchy. So this is actually more about the whole system because it's outside of those cards. And so that kind of becomes like a higher level status, right? And so we can actually do like maybe an exclamation point there and perhaps like a little white circle. I was just using command in the brackets. That's probably my favorite keyboard shortcut to send to back. And I'm just nudging with the arrow keys here. Possible intruder detected. Maybe like this actually isn't so red. With the red icon, that might be enough. What do you think? Yeah, possibly. Red text can kind of be a lot sometimes. Yeah. Who knows? I really encourage you to get creative with this one because I think there's a lot of potential in terms of what you can do with each of these sensors. Like what action can someone take? You know, like how are all these different systems at play with one another? Some of these might be in an in-between state where it's not quite alarm, it's not quite like sleeping, it's somewhere in between, and then that's like this yellow kind of state. How do you describe that? It becomes actually quite complex, but you also don't want to overwhelm the user, so it becomes a lot to handle at once. So I'm really curious to see all these other designs. When you do have a design that you're feeling confident about, this blue share button at the top right, we can hit that and then share for review. We can actually generate a link right from that. And so if we copy that, you can hit update or create link from that menu. And if you copy that link, we can get a link that we can share in Discord so you can get feedback. Of course, all these are the previous challenges from previous days, but you can share that in here, either images or if you add auto animate, feel free to share the link as well. That auto animate will carry over on the web. You don't have to share a video. And we'll give you feedback so you can make your designs even better. When you do make your designs better, try uploading them to Behance because that can actually like up-level your portfolio by a whole lot, where you can actually, you know, really bring it into your portfolio as to a whole. I've got to reload this here. It logged me out. Here we go. You can go to behance.net, create a project, upload your files. You can, you know, tell that story of what you think is best. You know, you can make a really long artboard with this is uploading here. That's why it's dark. But you can tell the story of how you made this and the decisions you're making, as well as, here it is, as well as the designs themselves. Show that off a little bit, tell that story. That becomes really important for your design. And when you do upload it, you can, you know, choose like your thumbnail, give it a title, boom, boom, boom. Crop and continue. Under discoverability of this project settings page, let's add a keyword XD daily challenge. And this is so that because you're part of this challenge and you're making it within this challenge, we can track it with that keyword, that tag, so that we can all see them on the Behance search page. And so these are all the challenges that people have been submitting to their Behance with that tag. And so we can all be part of that group together and track who's making what and kind of see it in its ultimate finished form, like this one. We did a map design. That was our first one, very first one. But that's about it. And we have one more coming tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. We're doing this challenge. And so there will be one more. It's going to be artificial intelligence related for like photo editing. So that's a little tease about at what we have to come. Share those links in Discord. I can't wait to see the designs, and I'll give feedback in any way I can, as well as all the other Adobe mentors. But apart from that, that's all I have for you today. And I really look forward to seeing you at the same time here tomorrow, and we're gonna jam out on our last design challenge. So happy to designing, and I can't wait to see you. So peace out.